Hi there, good morning, Prof Bond.
Good morning, Anita. How are you?
I'm good, thank you. Actually, thank you for today. Let me welcome you to our first DSG meetup and one-day seminar in University Malaya. We are
Yep.
so glad that you could join us today, even though if it's through recorded Skype call, but this is better than nothing. Yeah? Okay, so to begin with, maybe you can introduce yourself and tell us a bit about your area of interest.
Thanks, Anita. My areas of interest go right back to when I started being a primary school teacher. And I guess I've been a teacher all my life. When I was in teacher training, I became interested in the work of Jean Piaget and took an undergraduate honours degree and developed a test of logical operational thinking for young children. The problem that I came across was that the standard statistical methods that were available at the time didn't handle developmental data the way that I thought they should. Eventually, I was convinced by two famous Australian Rash measurement guys, Jeff Masters and Mark Wilson, to try Rash measurement. Well, that was the beginning and the end of everything. Once you've tried Rash measurement with your own data, with data that you know something about, I found and others have found that you get to learn more than you thought was possible. So I guess really the part of me that people in the DSG see is mostly to do with Rash measurement. The other part, the bit about Jean Piaget and intellectual development, I guess that's the other string to my bow, and that's the part that DSG members rarely get to see. Of course, the other bit they get to see is the bit that's concerned about ethical research methods, ethical behaviour between supervisors and students, and I guess that doesn't make me the most popular person in the world, but I still think that research ethics are a very important part of the way that we go about doing our research.
Right. Thank you so much for that. You have been with DSG for quite some time now, yeah? So,
Yes,
yeah.
it was
Mm.
interesting because I've been working in Malaysia on and off for a few years. I've got a bicycle over there so I can go riding with my mates at Bukit Jelutong Cycling Club. Um, but when I was at UKM in the education faculty for 3 years as an adjunct professor, people became aware that measurement is a little different from what usually passes as measurement. People call anything you put some numbers against it, that's measurement. Well, my view is rather restricted. And so it was interesting because a couple of DSG members said to me, "Hey, Prof Bond, would you come along and be in the DSG? Because these guys need to know something about measurement. All the answers they're getting are just about statistics." And I thought to myself, why should I do that? But anyhow, I got sucked in, and you can see that when I get a chance to be on Facebook, I usually am helping or upsetting someone on the DSG.
But I'm sure most of our members are quite familiar with you now, yeah, because of your help with especially measurement issues, and I've seen some, we have a lot of issues with that. So once in DSG, what are some of the common problems that you can see? Yeah, because we have a wide range of members in there. So what are some of the common problems that you can?
Well, I think there's one big problem that I've mentioned to you before,
Mm,
Anita,
mm,
and that is that my guess is we really need two DSGs. One that has to do with the human sciences, some people call them the social sciences, but I call them the human sciences, and the other ones that have to do with the inhumans. Oh, sorry, I shouldn't say that. The physical sciences. So physical sciences on the one hand and the human sciences on the other. But within the human sciences, I guess the most outstanding problems that I see in DSG, two are methodological problems, right? The first one is anyone thinks they can just write some Likert type scales and add them up and divide by their mother's birthday and then find out what the answer is. That happens so often. I've resolved to myself I'm going to write a 12-point document and put online so that when people start making the same mistakes over and over again about Likert type scales, we can just say to them, for heaven's sakes, this has been done to death. Go and read this document. So I guess I'm undertaking to make a 12-point document on that topic. The other one, of course, is the one that's close to my heart, and that's the lack of distinction between measurement and statistics. Now, of course, I appreciate that statistical analysis are very important. You know, all those things that we traditionally learn are very, very important. However, most of them are predicated on the idea that you have interval level data, and you just can't make up interval level data. You just can't give numbers out 1, 2, 3, 4 and say those are interval level data. So that wouldn't be so problem, except that most of the people who are in quantitative methods want to say they're measuring something when they're not measuring anything at all. So my important issue there has to do with the business of measurement. Now, separately from those two methodological issues, I think there are some things that concern me about what DSG members are going through. First of all, has to do with that most of them are required to write in the English language, and in spite of the protests I hear from time to time, the English language skills of many graduate students are not suitable for writing thesis level work. There's another problem, of course, that in a university that I've been to, students are forced to write in Bahasa Malay when nobody else in the world can read it, for heaven's sake. So if you're going to be a world leader, how can you write in Bahasa Malay? Or you can, of course, if your world is just the Malayan.
Yeah, so it's quite limited, yeah? It's quite limited to...
It is. And
very
I think
limited. Yeah,
and I think
right.
there's the second part of the issue, is that when Malaya gave away its English language advantage following 1957, I think that I can see why you adopt a national language to protect its culture. But I think the effect of that, one of the effects of that has been that Malaysian academics, and I mean the professors, have been rather, especially the ones in the social sciences, have been rather isolated from the rest of the world.
Yeah.
I'm just lucky. English language is the language of the academic world. So I'm lucky. If it was French, I wouldn't be too bad off. If it was Bahasa Malayo, I'd give up academia and go and ride my bike or something.
But you do speak Malay, yeah? You can understand a bit.
No. I just have a few words to make people amused. That's all.
Yeah, that's all. Right.
I think I speak more Cantonese than I speak
right. Okay.
Bahasa. But
okay.
I just put those in there to make people think that I'm not completely insensitive, that's all.
That's right. Okay, thank you so much for that. Well, actually, we are not being too ambitious, yeah? The DSG team now that I have, we have about 4 to 5 people that we like to call it a think tank group, yeah? We are not so ambitious to change everything, but at least we are doing something. The first one is having special interest group, SIGs, yeah?
Yes.
So we are moving towards that. So, according, like what you said, we should have physical sciences and human sciences, yeah, two groups together. And on top of that, we are also having spoken English, and academic English in our workshop soon. So yeah, we as an English lecturer myself, that has been our problems. Yeah. So for 16 years of teaching, that's what we've been dealing with. So thank you for that. Anything else, Prof Bond? Any other final remarks that you have about DSG? What about the networking opportunity that we have in there?
I think the networking opportunities are remarkable. I mean, so here I am. I'm sitting on a box of soft drinks outside my friend's house in Bunbury, in just south of Perth, and you're up there in Malaya, and we're having a interaction that's now going to be available on YouTube, and that people will be able to see on Saturday at the workshop you're running.
Yes.
that's extraordinary. I mean to say, without this sort of technologically advanced communication, I would have remained just a single lecturer in Townsville talking to myself. I mean to say, the capital city was 1,500 kilometres away from where I lived, and air travel was very expensive. It's only IT-based communication that has allowed me to become a legend in my own lunchbox, rather than sitting in a lunchbox in Townsville and talking to no one at all. I think what I see developing in DSG is that we have a few academics, and the other one I notice in particular is Prof RT from Penang,
Yep.
who are willing to jump in and help anybody. And I think both of us are sorry if we upset people, but really we are not. He does it more politely than I am, but we try to give helpful, constructive information.
Yep.
Now, not a lot of students want to hear that. They want to hear something that makes them happy. Well, being happy and being successful mightn't be the same thing at the beginning.
That's
and
right.
I think for the research that we're doing, especially at the master's and doctoral level, we need to be able to use intelligence and hard work and imagination. And then the happiness comes when we get the testament handed to us by the Vice Chancellor on graduation day.
Yeah, but you know what, Prof Bond, who does it for free on Facebook? If it's in the real life, they need to pay you to get that kind of consultation, isn't it? So,
exactly.
And yes, to end that, thank you so much for this opportunity. We do hope to see you face to face in Penang later on, November.
Certainly, I'll be up there to upset a few people and make a few more happy. Penang's going to be the first week in November, and then in Shah Alam in the second week in November. That's the plan. I've just got to buy my tickets and get my new bike to ride.
Okay, thank you so much for today, Prof Bond. So all the best in everything, and please stick with us. Yeah, DSG?
Yeah, sure. You'll see me upsetting someone on DSG.
Okay, no problem. Thank you. Bye-bye. Thank you. Bye.